How do we not allow other people to affect us so negatively? Why do we choose to give our power away into someone else's hands? Allowing every person around us to manipulate our feelings because we allow them to make us feel happy, sad, excited, scared, fearful, anxious, stressed out. We must know as creative, infinite beings that we have the power to manipulate and create with this energy that we are feeling without naming it, without embodying it. We can make a difference in our emotional state by not allowing our emotions to stay stuck in our body and turn into stress and disease, or turn into judgment, or allowing ourselves to ruin relationships and disconnect with people who are close with us just because it is hard to have difficult conversations with people sometimes. When will we learn to really use our breath as a tool? When are we going to really know that we are in control of our feelings and we get to choose how we want to feel? And when will we learn to embrace all of us, all that we are, and not just be attached to happiness? Life is not about running away when things are difficult. If someone is abusing you physically, that's a zero tolerance. If you are getting physically abused, you have total right to leave, walk away, run away, do whatever you got to do. But if someone is abusing you emotionally, or just saying things that you disagree and you take it way to heart and you take it way personal, maybe people are just trying to tell you what you don't see within yourself. And instead of you seeing it as a blessing, you see it as they're trying to change you, trying to control you, and then that triggers you and you want to leave and be free. Instead of allowing that person, that trigger, to really help you evolve spiritually and emotionally, and also mentally. Because being rich is not just thinking one way. Being rich means that you have an open mind, that you're willing to learn and expand your consciousness. And just remember that you have no reason, no energy to get reactive when someone says something about you or someone else. The only reason why you react is because possibly what that other person is saying is slightly true and it's hard for you to accept. There's no need to stand up for yourself when you know yourself. And I'm going to repeat this again. There's no need to stand up for yourself when you really know yourself. No one can say something about you that upsets you unless it's true and it's hard to accept. So either you know you and keep going if you know this is enhancing your life and helping others and not contributing to suffering. Or in the other case, maybe this person is true and it's good to sit down and meditate and evaluate your life and how you're showing up not so authentically. There's always room for self-improvement and change. And if we are going to allow people to impact us, may it be positivity. A positive impact on you with what they say and how they speak, how they live. May with how someone speaks, how they live, what they say not impact you negatively. May what they say impact you positively or not impact you at all, not really touch you at all. We don't always have to allow ourselves to get so emotionally involved with everybody's story. Because think about it. If someone is so sad and depressed and they're telling you about how terrible their day is, and then you allow yourself to be impacted by them in a negative way, by now you being sad, depressed, and having a terrible day, you're just creating 2 more people on this earth embodying that energy of being sad and depressed. So it's a blessing to be a sensitive person, but just don't allow everybody to have total control and move you through what they say, do, or act like. And as I tell you this, I am telling myself this because I am one of those sensitive people that constantly allowed my emotions to go up and down. And it got so overwhelming that I just decided to be an introvert and just spend a lot of time in solitude. Because it was so hard for me to realize how much pain and suffering and how much people give their power away to others that I just decided to not be around anyone. And I feel like this is not the way to go. This is not the way to grow. We must surround ourselves with people who challenge us, who trigger us, so then we can know, thank you. You helped me grow. Thank you. You give me another opportunity to work on myself. So let's not avoid people. It's nice to be able to surround ourselves with all different walks of life, all different expressions of human beings. So then we know how to hold space for them, how to communicate, meet each other, and connect instead of always separate. If we are never challenged as human beings, we will never grow. And remember, during those uncomfortable conversations or arguments we have with people, know that you don't always need to get your point across. You don't always need to prove yourself right or stand up for yourself or have all that energy being put towards that person, trying to convince them that your way is right and their way is wrong. We often try to change the way people are thinking or the way they are living their life, but this is only going to cause stress. We want to change the way people think or act and think that, oh, if we convince them to be this certain way, then I will be at peace, then I'll be happy. This is just a high level of expectations, and this is real, very unrealistic. We really don't need people to agree with us or see things our way. We don't have to convince anyone of our truth. The best way, and it has been shown to me over and over again, because I've felt like I've wasted my time and energy trying to explain myself and with my words. And the best way is just to be that example, to be that living, breathing action in this world. We don't need to change people in order to be at peace or be happy. Every individual has their right to have their own opinion, their own truth. We can totally point fingers at other people and say that they're the problem, they're the one making me angry, and blame. But the reality is, and what's keep showing up for me is that it is my responsibility, and I need to learn how to use my triggers as a teacher. What is the teaching here? Why do I get so offended? Why do I react? Why does my body react to something that is said? Why do I want to stand up for my truth? Why is this emotionally bothering me? So we really need to start getting curious and look at life as like a game or a lesson, or you're the student and everyone around you is teaching you something. And to really be curious about it. Your triggers are your teachers. We cannot avoid our teachers. They're going to keep showing up over and over again until we learn our lesson. So start getting educated on this whole life experience, because we really got to have most of our wisdom and knowledge come from real life experiences. It will only make us that much more powerful and that much more knowing, because we have faced the triggers and we have learned how to overcome them by understanding them, understanding. And as you are the main character of your own movie, you know yourself the best. And from my life, I am a very calm person. It would take a lot for me to get super angry and, I meditate a lot, I do the yoga, I'm very joyful most of the time, I'm relaxed. So when I get triggered and have these responses or these reactions in my body, such as like shaking or like sweating or like tightness in the throat, it is interesting. I'm like, whoa, this is really interesting and different. Like, this is happening, and why is this coming up for me? And even when you wake up kind of groggy, you're like, whoa, what did I do differently last night to wake up like this? And the more you develop your self-awareness, you get to be self-realized and realize what you are doing to contribute to these reactions in the body or these mood swings. Just being aware of every action that you take throughout the day and kind of thinking back like, oh, that's why I feel like super tired, because when's the last time I actually had a nourishing meal? And this could be part of why I'm responding so negatively or like feeling so anxious in this conversation. So it's time to study ourselves. And according to the body, when we go and we feel threat and we want to feel triggered, our body gets out of the mind into the body. The blood now flows to the limbs, wanting to fight or like run away, like use the body's strength. That's why when we are in situations where we do feel threatened, we really respond with our body right away before our brain can even really think of it. Like a child about to fall on the ground. Some of us parents, we feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to hurry and catch you. Or so we get out of our rational minds and we get into our body. So when we realize, oh, this conversation isn't worth fighting for or running away, like it's really not that big of a deal as I'm making it within my body. So I'm going to take a deep breath. So now the blood and the oxygen can flow up to my brain and I can start becoming rational again. And this is so cool to know more about the body for these reasons. So we can then know that, okay, my breath can always be an anchor and a tool for these hard times in life. So remind yourself that it's totally necessary to have your solitude time and sit with yourself and find clarity and rewind your day and think, why did I get so upset? Why did when this person said this certain word? And then sometimes it goes all the way back to your childhood. And then you can remind yourself, I do not allow this person to control me, to manipulate me, to make me feel like I'm less. You take a deep breath and you come back to your heart and you find clarity in that solitude time, in the silence, and just keep doing the best you can. And it's better to just stay silent rather than do something you regret later. It's better to stay still and quiet rather than to be impulsive with your actions and feelings. So I care about you, and I know that we got this together. Namaste.